Lions, welcome back to the channel. And you are not going to believe the video that I am about to play for you. If you thought the first video was bad, with her rejecting going into the Cheesecake Factory, you're not going to believe this video. This video is worse than the other video. As disrespectful as that first video was, this video is worse. So, the Cheesecake Factory girl and the guy are back. They're having a sit down and they're talking about what went wrong. This individual here, his name is Kevin Wesley. I am not familiar with him. I never heard of him until now. Seeing his face does look familiar, like I've seen it somewhere, but I've never actually listened to any of his videos. I've never watched them or anything like that. But he got them to do a sit down, and they're going to explain what happened. And if you thought the first video was ridiculous, you will not believe the nonsense that you're going to hear in this video. So I'll play the video. We'll start breaking some things down. And this is a long video. This video is 38 minutes long. I am not going all 38 minutes. I'm going to break down what he has to say about it. The guy that went on a date with her, I can't remember, I don't know his name, and what she has to say about it, and then we'll wrap this up. So let me play it now, and then we will come back. We'll start to break this down, but you're not going to believe the stuff. She actually, and let me say this before I play this, she actually did a response video by herself. And I was going to do a video on that, but I decided not to because she didn't really say anything in there of significance. She did some capping saying that, her mission is to empower women. By the way, if a woman ever tells you that, don't even take her out on a date. You can end the conversation right there. Any woman that says her mission is to empower women, excuse me, is not a woman you want for a girlfriend or for a wife. But she said that in her response video. My mission is to empower women, blah, 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 blah. Another thing she said was she didn't start videotaping her and him in a parking lot of the Cheesecake Factory to embarrass him or expose him. That's cap. She was saying into the phone, I can't believe he took me here. Oh, I'm not getting out of this car. So yes, she was definitely trying to embarrass him. So that's 1,000% cap. And she also said she did it to spark a conversation. No, you did it to embarrass this man, and it didn't work. It backfired on you, and you looked stupid. So now you're playing. She's trying to backtrack, and she's playing, and she's doing some reconnaissance. They're trying to gain back her reputation, because she did say in that video, the response video she did by herself, that she was getting a lot of hate messages and people trying to get her fired and saying a lot of mean and ugly, spiteful things. Let me say right here and now, that's ridiculous. We have to stop doing that as a society. Now, she made herself look bad by putting herself out there. That is 1,000% her fault. But we cannot take it to the next level and start threatening people and, trying to get people fired from their job and doing stuff like that. I don't condone that. Let's keep things civil and let's speak on the content and not, go after a person's life, their livelihood, threaten them or do anything like that. So I definitely agree with her on that. No one deserves that kind of thing. But all the public scorn, all the embarrassment, all the ridicule, she definitely deserves that. She brought that on herself, because what she tried to do to this man backfired, and it actually happened to her. She's the object of ridicule. She's the object of scorn, as it should be, because she was very despicable. But let's see if she learned her lesson. Let's see if that's just an act. And not to spoil anything, it wasn't an act, and she didn't learn her lesson. So let's play the video and you can hear it for yourself.
So, now here we are, a few weeks later. I'm sure you've had some time to think about what you guys discussed in the car. I'm sure you've had some time to think about it. Before I ask you any questions, have you guys had a second date?
No.
No second dates.
Not yet.
Okay.
If he would have said yes, I would have slapped him through my monitor. So he better not go on no damn second date with this lady.
So I'll start with you, Jay. What has dating been like for you since that video went viral?
Since I was on the video, kind of unexpected. I might not have put my best foot forward, and so I feel like, I've not really met anyone since who I've really gotten to get to know like that, because a lot of women, they might have seen.
I'm surprised he said he didn't put his best foot forward, because as a man, we all thought he did. He responded well. Some people thought he was too nice the way he responded, but we thought he handled himself well. So the fact that he's saying, it sounds like he's saying he's received negative responses to how he handled the situation, which I find that to be bizarre, because to us men, he handled it fine.
The video, or might have heard from it, or maybe a friend of theirs has seen the video and shares it with them. And so they kind of had this image of me based on the video.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't really helped.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like they might think everything about me is reflected in that video, and I don't think it is. And but yeah, it's been difficult.
Sure.
Well, and it's even before this, dating has already been difficult for me.
I imagine your views kind of clash with what you're looking for and what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think so, because
Listen to what he said. He said, even before this, dating has been difficult for me. So he is the classic nice guy. He's the classic nice guy, probably has a middle-class job, nothing extremely high profile, maybe something, it could be. I don't know. I don't know what the man does for a living. He never goes into it. But anyway, it doesn't matter, because he said even before this, he's had trouble dating. So that lets me know that he's in the category of the average guy, because that is the average guy's experience, trouble dating. He doesn't look particularly tall. She's actually bigger than him. If you look at the both of them, look at their body mass. She takes up a lot more space than he does. Now, she's probably wearing heels or something, so maybe that's making her appear taller than him. But from a body mass and a bone structural standpoint, she's actually bigger than him. And he is the normal average guy that's having trouble dating, because women that look like her, that are average looking, think that they deserve the world, and they think they deserve a man that's way above them, that's out of their league. That's how self-centered and delusional they become, where average women think that they are the top of the echelon of women in society.
I think, in general, my values kind of reflect wanting to build something that lasts.
Yes, sir.
And I want to make sure that anyone that I meet is willing to build a really strong foundation based on our mutual values. And I think it in general, a lot of the people that I meet, either they don't have time to set towards building something like that, or they just don't want to, because they're younger, they want to experience.
They don't have the time. It's not that they don't have the time to build that. They don't have the time to build that with him. That's what that means. If he was 6'4", worth a lot of money, had status, was popular, all this other stuff, they would make time for him. They don't want to make time for him. That's the thing. So when he's saying, they don't have time to build something like that, that's from the average guy's perspective, that's true. And let me say this, I'm an average guy. I'm not coming on here to try to pronounce anything different or profess anything different. But I have friends who range in looks. I have friends who are really. I have actually one of my friends is extremely good looking, and I've seen the things that he was able to get away with and how women responded to him versus how women responded to the rest of my friends, and it ain't even close. It ain't even close. I mean, this guy was living with his mom until he was about 30. And when he was living with his mom, he was bringing, attractive women home and being sexually intimate with them with his room right next to his mom's room. They didn't care. They didn't care. So the rules are different when you're an average guy. So he's an average guy, so he's facing the rules that average guys run into when they're dating. And what's sad about it is that he should be able to get an average woman, but average women don't think they're average. That's the problem. Let's go back to the video.
Casual dating or whatever it is, and it's just not something that I'm looking for right now.
Understood. So, obviously, guys, Jay's saying that they have they're viewing him in a negative light when it comes to dating. When I saw Jay, I saw someone who was making some excellent points, who knew what he wanted, and he's actually now like a Giga Chad in the manosphere world, in the red pill community. The brother's being mentioned everywhere for the way he handled that conversation. Now I'm going to ask Alicia as well, because during this conversation, Alicia.
Thank you.
We'll get that right. Okay, so Alicia, you didn't seem to really disagree with what he was saying. Now you had definitely a different opinion before he gave you his mind, right? But you seemed very receptive to it. Can you explain to me kind of what you were thinking and how you saw him in that video? Because he's saying they took him in a negative light. What do you think?
Well, yes, I think once we had the conversation, I could see my role in the conflict.
Okay, okay.
Just back up a little bit. To be fair, I mean, I was always raised that
So she said she can see her role in the conflict. To say that she sees her role in the conflict is to say that he also had a role in it. But no, this conflict was precipitated by her. She was the star, the co-star, the director, and the producer. The conflict was all on her side. Jay did nothing to start the conflict.
man is supposed to cater to you. I mean, you're courting me, so court me. That means wherever I want to go, you take me.
Absolutely.
Whatever I want, you buy me. That's courting. I'm looking for a provider. So, but after the conversation, I could see how there was a lot of
Okay.
in that exchange.
Absolutely.
I was definitely very self-centered, and I can appreciate if I do want someone to provide for me, I at least gotta be a little bit nice.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now I ask you this.
Okay, so she said when she went back and looked at the video, she can see that she was being a little self-centered. It's not that she was being a little self-centered, it's that she is self-centered. Listen to what she said. I was taught that when a man courts a woman, he's supposed to give me whatever I want, and he's supposed to take me wherever I want. That's her ideal of courting. That is not courting, and that is the crux of the problem. Courting is when a man gets to know a woman, and he does this through what we would consider today dating. They go to parks, they go out for lunch, they go to dinner, they go to movies. They do different things in social settings so they can get to know each other, they can get comfortable around each other, they can get familiar with one another, they can talk about life goals, they can talk about their core values. This is a part of courting. And yes, the man is taking her to dinner, they're going out to lunch, they're doing these different things. But she has an ideal in her head and in her mind that courting means he becomes a genie and she gets whatever she wants, and wherever she wants to go, he's supposed to take her there. That is not courting. She sounds like a sugar baby. And she thinks that men that court her are supposed to be sugar daddies. And whatever she wants, she's supposed to get. This is the crux of the issue. Let's go back to the video.
Based on your idea of dating before your conversation with Jay, how did you grow up? Who also thinks that way? I'm sure you have friends who think that way. I've heard it a lot.
I mean, everybody. I mean, that's what the man's, he's supposed to be the provider.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm a beautiful woman, so I'm expecting to be treated like royalty. I mean, come on. So that's what I was doing.
So, again, I never go there, but she went there. She said she's supposed to be treated like royalty and that she's a beautiful woman. Jay probably thought that. I will say that. But Jay was having trouble dating. Jay said before this date he was having trouble dating. And so Jay, being an average guy and having trouble dating like average guys do, I'm sure, Jay, it's not like Jay has 6 different women to take out and she was a lucky one that he chose. So the fact that she keeps saying she's a beautiful woman, you can see that she has an overinflated ego. And if you look at Jay's, just look at his posture and his sitting position, and look at his what do you call it? His body gestures and his movements. You can see Jay is just an average guy, and he's not a guy that is extremely confident in himself. At least when it comes to dating, he may be very confident when it comes to work, whatever he does for a profession. May be very confident when it comes to a sport or something. But you can see that Jay is not a very confident person, especially when it comes to dating and interacting with the opposite sex, because he just hasn't had a lot of success in that department. And that's self-admitted. Where she, even though she's completely average, she has an overinflated ego and an overinflated view of herself. That is because there are a lot of average men out there like Jay that tries to date her. And because of that, that is what builds up this incredible, enormous ego. She thinks she's more than what she actually is. And someone like Jay, and he's not even a bad looking guy. He's not bad looking. His skin is clear. His clothes is ironed. He's groomed. He ain't even a bad looking guy. He's just, he looks to be a little short. He's just an average guy, which is nothing wrong with being average. But his equivalent in the female form, her ego is so enormous that she thinks that she's actually better than him. She thinks she deserves to be treated like royalty. And she didn't say because she knows how to cook. She didn't say because she's domesticated. She didn't say because she's compassionate. She didn't say because she's generous. She didn't say because she's self-sacrificing. She said she deserves to be treated like royalty because she's beautiful. That speaks for itself. But let's go back to the video.
Do we treat him? And that's where the disconnect was.
Right.
In the video, now of course I'm sure you think of it differently now, but in the video you basically told him that you're not going in there, your value. It would be embarrassing for you to go inside a Cheesecake Factory. A lot of people like Cheesecake Factory. Now, so when I see that video, I'm thinking, okay, she must have some friends who probably would disagree with her going inside a Cheesecake Factory. Your peer group. So peer pressure probably keeps you from.
Never live that. Oh my God! I would never live that down.
Wow! Date the Cheesecake Factory. They wouldn't let you live that down.
No, I have an image to protect.
There we go. Bingo. He hit the nail on the head. She has a peer group, guys. Listen to what she said. Women have peer groups. When they look to date a man, they date a man based on what their peer group thinks, based on what their peer group will say. It doesn't matter if she likes the man. It doesn't matter if she finds him interesting. It doesn't matter if she finds him attractive. What matters is what her peer group thinks about that man. because what they think about him is more important than what she thinks about him. So she's embarrassed to go to the Cheesecake Factory because her friends and her peer group would find that to be embarrassing. Because after a woman goes on a date, the friends in her peer group ask her, well, where did you go? What did you order? What did you do? How was he dressed? And she knows that if that man takes her somewhere, or if he doesn't look a certain way, that's to the approval of the peer group, it's going to make her look bad in their eyes. The way women look in the eyes of those in her peer group is more important. It is the number one thing. This is why they can't get married, because they're not picking men that would be great husbands or boyfriends. They're picking men based on the criteria of their peer group. And the Cheesecake Factory would be embarrassing to those girls in her peer group. She said it would be bad for her image. Bad to her image for who? Not to the guy giving the interview, not to Jay on the couch. Who would her image be tarnished in the eyes of? Not to the people at the Cheesecake Factory, not to the servers, not to the rest of the customers. It would be embarrassing to the girls in her peer group. That is the problem. Guys, if you want to check out the rest of this video, you can. I'm not going to go through the rest of it because I have all I need to know. You should have all you need to know. If you want to watch the rest of it to be entertained, you can certainly do that, because it just gets more ridiculous as it goes on. She doesn't apologize one iota. She doesn't say sorry. She doesn't apologize to Jay. She doesn't acknowledge wholeheartedly the role that she played in this, which is the entire role. She wasn't just a participant in it. She was the driver. She was the reason why this date didn't go anywhere. Guys, be observant, have standards, set boundaries. Any woman that comes off like this, any woman who's not respecting your boundaries, any woman that's not showing you respect, and if she turns on her video to record something, especially on the first date, that is a no-go. That is a stop the car. She can get dropped off right here, or if you're a nice guy, you can take her back home like Jay did. But this is absolute lunacy. She learned nothing from that verse video and the backlash she got. The only way women learn is if the women in their peer group shames them, because that is what's most important to women. Her circle of friends and the people in her peer group, they have the most influence. That's why men tell married women not to hang with single women, because it's only before long they will make you single. If you like a guy and you're really into him, if the peer group doesn't approve of him, they will talk you out of liking that guy and have you break up with him. Countless number of women have broken up with men and divorced their husbands because the peer group they have did not approve. This is a real thing. You have been armed. You have the information. You have it. You know that for modern women, for a lot of them, their peer group is of a greater influence and importance than you are. Being armed with this information, use it wisely. This woman is not a woman to date. She needs a complete restructuring and complete reconfiguration of the way she thinks. Anyone that decides to date her is taking on a project. There are warning signs, detour signs, and everything that she says. Anyone who marries her is a complete and utter idiot. So that's all we got for this video, Lions. I'll talk to you next time.